components of a great niche. Now, in watching this video, I want to preface this with saying if you guys are a roofing company, a solar company, etc., you don't have to be as stringent on this. This training is going to be ultimately guide for people who don't necessarily know exactly who they're going after for their target audience, or they know who they're going after, they've just never really been able to communicate effectively to them. Lastly, this is definitely going to be a huge portion of your marketing workbook when it comes to referring to the offer development, when you're talking about pains, obstacles, fears, etc., your target audience, things like that. So if you are not essentially aware of who your target audience is, then I highly recommend going through these niche trainings, as they're going to give you more context into that. So from this, niching down is ultimately one of the most overlooked and underutilized processes in terms of marketing, especially when it comes to scaling and growing your business. This holds so many people back from achieving their goals, and ultimately what our goal today is to discuss why it's important to niche down and how you can begin doing it. Niches are in the riches. We've all heard it ultimately throughout time and time again, but what does it actually mean? So with that, we're going to break down what a niche is in some examples. A niche is ultimately a collective group of people that can be classified based on some characteristic that does not make them the same as everyone else. Or in other words, some characteristic that makes them different from other groups. Now, this can be things like categories or groups of people. So if any of you have ever driven in a Jeep, rode in a Jeep, owned a Jeep, you know that Jeep life is a collective group of people. That's why they have the Jeep wave every time you drive by somebody else driving a Jeep. Have you seen the Salt Life stickers that many people put on the back of their vehicle? Regardless of opinions of those, you'll see many people that live in coastal cities, coastal towns, have those stickers and are avid offshore fishermen, okay? That could be classified as a characteristic of people that make up a niche. So some examples of niches could be medical practices, financial institutions, small business owners, mothers, right? These are all collective groups of people that could be classified based on some characteristic that makes them different from others. However, using niches like this is extremely broad in most scenarios. They're not very good niches when you're trying to scale your business up, especially if you've never successfully ran cold traffic campaigns in the past. The objective is to ultimately drill down to make your niche as specific as you can. Now, there are some instances where an ultra-specific niche is not appropriate, okay? We'll talk about those in a little bit. But for the time being, if we're looking at, say, a marketing agency who's trying to scale, instead of going after all dentists for your lead generation offer, why don't you go after cosmetic dentists that do dental implants or sell Invisalign or do teeth whitening? If you focus on one of these individual things, these core components, you will be immediately depicted as an expert in that arena. Chiropractors, so spinal decompression, auto accident, cash-only practices, pain, things like that. Financial brokers could be classified as USDA, conventional, FHA, etc. However, this is one of those niches that you don't really want to break down or go hyper-specific on, okay? Payment processors, processors. Point of sale, you could be focusing on retail, restaurants, you could even drill down into payment processors that work with food trucks, or payment processors that work with digital payments. If you look at Stripe, Stripe is classified as a payment processor for SaaS companies when they originally launched, okay? Small business owners, lead gen marketing agencies, SEO marketing agencies, advertising agencies, etc. E-commerce, Amazon stores, Walmart stores, golfing e-com stores, right? Mothers, stay-at-home Christian mothers, single mothers, working mothers, etc. You're able to drill down. Now, once you drill down into these things, you can start breaking things down in socio, economical, or physiological characteristics that are going to help you identify with your audience at a different level. Some examples: introverted digital entrepreneurs, stay-at-home mothers in a Christian household. When you create your offer and you get unique with this targeting, it will increase the likelihood of getting the click and piquing the interest, because it'll speak explicitly to that audience. Now, why is it important to niche down? The higher up you are in this chain, the harder it's going to be to stand out with cold traffic. Ultimately, more people could be targeting mortgage brokers or targeting mothers. But if you drill down into single mothers, you can get hyper-specific and speak to the core of that audience that not everyone is trying to reach. So when you drill down, it becomes more personalized in your advertising. If everything from your ad to your pitch seems like it's cultivated explicitly for that target audience, your throughput and conversion rates are going to increase, which means your cost per acquisition will decrease. You must achieve product market fit before you can ever truly scale. And the wider your net is, the more expensive it gets to bring in cold traffic. In most cases, I do want to put an asterisk here because there are situations where that may not be true. All things considered, niching down gives you the ability to get hyper-specific on your audience. This gets you the ability to start building some momentum and scaling up. Lastly, to scale your business, you need to be able to create repeatable repetitions. The more repetitions you have, the easier it is to optimize everything from your pitch, your copy, your funnel, how you deliver your service, creating SOPs in the systems to deliver said service, etc. You can likely do this if you are the type of person that has 1 to 5 employees at this point. You and your team are ultimately wearing many different hats. So the more variables you can remove from the equation, the easier it'll be for you and your team to get really good at one thing for one audience very fast. An example of this is when I was starting my marketing agency, Luckless Digital. I did everything from website development to SEO to Facebook ad management, Google ad management, built sales funnels, the whole 9 yards. And I was never able to break through $10,000, $15,000 a month. And I was working 18 to 20 hours a day. Now, when I niched down to working only with chiropractors and focusing on chiropractors in pain relief, spinal decompression, and red light therapy, I was able to repeat the service I was delivering because everything I was building was almost replicable across the board. I niched down my service to what is the thing that this audience actually needs. You're going to find this when it comes into the offer development part, but what are the mechanisms of this audience? I was able to build websites, do SEO, do everything under the sun, but realistically, I found out that chiropractors in that market, they just wanted to scale up their business, and they wanted new patients to do that. So when it comes to scaling up your business and getting new patients, you don't need a website, you don't need this, you don't need that, you don't need all those different things. What you truly need is a client acquisition system. You need lead generation, where you have people consistently booking appointments with your business. So I was able to cut out the majority of the things that I was delivering as a service and focus explicitly on the mechanisms that the client needed to get the outcome and the result that they needed or wanted for their business. This let me simplify my business, talk to chiropractors on a more niche level, more explicit level, and ultimately was able to scale my marketing agency to over $80,000 a month in under a year. So with that, as you begin gaining product market fit and collecting testimonials, case studies, etc., then you can start expanding vertically or horizontally. In this case, you can do that on the niche or service side. So example of a vertical scale is where you are selling the same people, but now you're selling them more services, right? This could be, I build up everything for chiropractors, but then I start building long-term growth plans. So that gets into website, SEO, content marketing, etc. So they can take these quick cash infusions and create more sustainability on the back end. Whereas horizontally scaling is not changing my services, but I'm selling the same thing, but it's cultivated to another niche audience. That's what I chose to do. And I did it with dentists for dental implants. And I scaled out horizontally in that direction as well, okay? Don't forget, Amazon started out as an online bookstore with a limited selection. Now today they sell just about everything, including tiny homes, motorcycles, ATVs, etc. Why do most people fail to niche down? Ultimately comes down to fear. Fear of missing out sales opportunities and money. You must be okay at saying no to money. It was a hard pill to swallow, and it's something I struggled with for about 2 years, was turning people down. Hey, can I pay you to do this thing? Sometimes it was really good money, but I had to understand the 80-20 principle. Is that amount of money worth the amount of time that it's going to divert my attention away from the thing that's truly scalable in my business? If it is not worth my time, I need to say no. And a quick and easy way to identify this is this cash injection, this revenue, going to move my business in the direction I want to go? Yes or no? If it does not, cut it out. This is a very important training for many businesses. And I can say this from example. I've done it the wrong way. I've done it the right way. Justin and I have done it the wrong way in Conversionly, and we've done it the right way. It can be very enticing to say yes to everyone, but it can impede on the growth of your business, the scalability, and also the quality of what you do.